So, we've all gotten pretty used to AI that can chat with us, write things for us, even create images. But what if it could go beyond just helping us and actually start doing things for us? That's the huge shift we're talking about today. This evolution from a digital assistant to a true, honest to goodness digital agent. Think about it this way. It's one thing to have an AI draft a quick email for you. That's already super helpful, right? But what if you could just tell it, hey, manage my inbox for the day? I'm not talking about just writing. I mean reading, prioritizing, scheduling meetings from requests, and then flagging the few things you actually need to see. That is the incredible leap we're about to get into. And this slide, wow, it just lays it out perfectly. On the left, you've got your standard generative AI. You give it a very specific prompt, like write a summary. It does that one thing, and then it just waits for your next command. But look at the right. With Agentic AI, you give it a goal, a mission. It doesn't just do one task, it figures out the whole chain of actions needed to achieve that goal. So, what's the magic ingredient here? What makes this possible? Well, it all boils down to one really powerful idea: agency. This is the thing that separates an AI that just follows instructions from one that can actually take initiative. Right, and here's the core of it. Agency is that ability to act on its own with a purpose. This means agentic AI isn't just spitting back patterns it's learned. No, it's actively planning, it's taking action, and it's adapting to get a job done. You really have to start thinking of it less like a clever tool and more like an autonomous digital coworker. This table really charts the whole journey for us. If you look at that top row, we went from old school AI that just did one fixed task to Gen AI that creates content. But now, Agentic AI's whole reason for being is to accomplish goals. And check out that second row on behavior. We've moved from rule-based and reactive to something that's genuinely proactive and can solve problems on its own, handling these big, messy, multi-step projects. Okay, so we get what it is, but how does an agent actually, do it? How does it take a big, vague goal and turn it into a bunch of finished tasks? Well, it follows this really elegant, simple cycle. This is basically the agentic loop. It all kicks off at step one, where you give it that high-level goal. Then, in step two, the agent thinks and cooks up a plan. Step three, it gets to work, taking action, using whatever digital tools it needs. And here's the really brilliant part, step four. After every action, it looks at what happened, gets feedback, and tweaks the plan. It's this constant cycle of plan, act, learn, repeat. And here's a perfect real-world example of that in action. Your goal isn't send an email or create a ticket. It's this huge, complex thing, prepare for SARS maternity leave. An agentic system just gets it. It autonomously builds a plan, then starts interacting with calendars, IT portals, procurement systems, HR software, all without you having to micromanage a single step. So you might be wondering, how does the agent think through something like that? Well, this is where our old friend generative AI comes back into the picture. It's not gone. It's just been given a new job as the cognitive engine. It uses what's called chain of thought reasoning. You can literally picture it as the agent talking to itself, laying out the problem, weighing options, and breaking a huge goal down into small logical steps before it makes a move. Now, this isn't just some sci-fi concept. This tech is absolutely poised to change how we work and live. We're talking about a new kind of collaborator entering the scene, the digital coworker. And the potential uses are just massive. Take cybersecurity. Instead of a system that just flags a threat and screams for a human to help, imagine an agentic system that detects the threat, isolates it, and neutralizes it all by itself in seconds. The same logic applies to managing supply chains, handling customer service, you name it. The scope is just enormous. Or let's bring it home. Imagine giving an agent a goal like this. This isn't a simple search query. The agent has to go check weather forecast APIs, compare flight and hotel prices across dozens of sites, cross-reference that with your budget, and then actually go through with the bookings. It's taking a really complex human-level planning task and just handling it. But of course, with this much power, this much autonomy, it's not all smooth sailing. There are some serious risks. When you hand over the keys to a system that can act all on its own, you are absolutely introducing a whole new class of challenges we have to figure out. And these are some really tough questions. I mean, who's on the hook when an agent makes a costly mistake? How do we stop bad guys from using these for sophisticated fraud or cyber attacks? And what about the law of unintended consequences? If you tell an agent to maximize profit, it might figure out some pretty unethical ways to do that if you're not incredibly careful with the guardrails. These are the problems we have to solve, and they're not easy. But despite all those challenges, the direction of travel is pretty clear. We are heading towards a future that's going to be defined by a brand new partnership between people and AI, where AI stops being a passive tool and starts being an active partner. I absolutely love this analogy. It just nails the difference, doesn't it? Gen AI is like a brilliant chef. You give it a recipe, any recipe, and it can execute it perfectly. But Agentic AI, that's the restaurant owner. It's not just cooking, it's running the whole show, planning the menu, sourcing ingredients, managing the staff, and optimizing the entire business to succeed. So, what does the road ahead look like? Well, pretty soon, hybrid human AI teams are just going to be the way things are done. In the near term, you'll see big companies adopting agents for all kinds of complex operations. Then, a bit further out, a lot of us might have our own personal AI secretaries running our digital lives. And way down the road, we could be looking at whole ecosystems of agents working together to tackle massive global problems. And that really brings us to the final and maybe the most important question of all. When your AI is no longer just a tool that you command, but an autonomous coworker that you collaborate with, what's your role then? What's the uniquely human part of the job? That's the big question we're all going to be figuring out together.